You know what I'm saying? Yeah, passport bros and then be saying I'm broke. I don't know what broke. I'm humble. I'm humble. I don't know about that broke word. Yeah, broke. I don't know about all that. I'm humble though. So yeah, as y'all coming in, make sure y'all like the video, like the live, share it, repost it, whatever. So let's get it. So yeah, so today we're talking about the importance of, a praying man or a praying woman, and what that means. So traditionally, this was a concept that always was. A lot of times you hear it now in the church. You hear about this term within certain religious communities. They want to find a praying man, they want to find a praying woman, things like that. And these are very old concepts. They've been around forever. I said before in a live, men were traditionally the priest of their family, right? In every household was like its own individual temple, as above, so below. So you had the macro view of things, which was the overall community, where you literally had religious temples where people would go, where people would pray, where people would offer sacrifice and things like that. And then you have that reflected in the family unit. You know what I'm saying? Where on a more personal scale, right? You see it play out as well. And so, the importance of a praying man, the importance of a praying woman, right? When we get into this, traditionally, men were guardians spiritually for their households, and women were nurturers of their household. And this is where you get like these concepts of like the kitchen bruja or the kitchen witch, right? You get these certain concepts like that find their way in tradition. And there's a reason for it all. There's a reason for it all. The women held a lot of power by being in the kitchen, because they could kill you or they could nurture you. They could unalive you or they could nurture you, right? A lot of things that women did preparation wise were herbs. A lot of things women did preparation wise for ritual, things like that was done, right? With the men, the men were the guardians per se of their household spiritually. They were the priest of their house. So a lot of times the men were the ones that when they had to do like household individual ceremony type of stuff, the men are the ones who would take initiative, help to carry out those rituals on behalf of the family, with his woman, and they would help to keep balance in the family, in the household. This concept today has, really diminished a lot. We don't see this as often, where we see it more with the women. So the women are a lot of times still playing the part of, the person who is nurturing spiritually. And now the women are taking on the part of spiritual warrior on behalf of the family, because the men as a unit are not taking on the role of spiritual warrior. So me, as somebody that does a lot of work for people, that come to me, for readings, that come to me for spiritual work, I can tell you that there's not a lot of men that come seeking that. There's not a lot of men. It's more women, and women they will come to me on behalf of an issue that their significant other is going through. So I've helped a lot of men in court cases that they didn't know, because their girl came to me. You know what I'm saying? So he was able to escape that, not knowing that, his woman then came and paid the Brujo to move some spirits on his behalf. You know what I'm saying? A lot of men that I've helped to get stable behind the scenes, because their women have come to me about things like that, and I do my thing with spirit to help make his life easier. So today we're seeing a lot of women that are taking on the role of spiritual warrior, but there's an imbalance with that. Because if one is a praying man or woman and the other is not, this can create imbalances within the situation. Of course, where one has faith and believes that they can get through XYZ challenge, the other one does not. When one gives it to God, per se, the other does not. And like I say, these things, right, book to it, speak on that. The black women have always worked on behalf of their mates, for sure. I see it. I'm in the practice. I do a lot of work for people. I'm available for people to get, spiritual advisor services from me. And this is just my experience. This is what I see, as long as what other priests see. So when I speak to like priests from different traditions, they see the same thing. It's the women who are taking initiative spiritually for their family on behalf of the man, and the man doesn't know anything about this. You know what I'm saying? We even seen a similar situation that came out in the media with Tom Brady's wife. So a year or two ago, it came out that Tom Brady's wife would do rituals for Tom Brady, for his games and things like that. And we see how accomplished Tom Brady has become. And it was only until recently where he could really take appreciation, where he could really take appreciation for those things. You know what I'm saying? And obviously he didn't take that much appreciation because I could feel how she feels. All that work, all these Super Bowls I done helped you win behind the scenes with this spirituality that I've been doing for your behalf, and you were supposed to retire, and you're not gonna retire. You're gonna give the NFL more of the time that I was deprived from my husband. Okay, bet. No, we don't need our women to be running the Elas, brother. No, we don't. Don't twist the tradition, fam. That's not what that is. The women have their part in the Ile and Ifa. The men have their part in the Ile and Ifa. And that's the way that it is. And it works, been like that for thousands of years. It's never been a problem. We built a lot of empires that way. That's how oil was built. That's how so many things was built. You understand? So we need to have men step up again and take their position so the women don't feel like they're being strained and doing too much, because that's what's happening. Women are tired of carrying the burden. They carrying the burden spiritually. They carrying the burden financially. They're carrying the burdens in so many ways. They need to be less burdened. Stop putting more burden on them. Like they're just, you know what I'm saying? I don't care how many Black Panthers you watch. Y'all putting too much burden on women while the men can just sit back. That's crazy. So, with this concept of the praying men, this concept with the praying men and the praying women, it's cool, brother. I understand. I just had to say that because people watching like, nah, we got to unburden our women. Like, it's too much being put on them. Like, damn, what else you want them to do? So, when you have both mates that are, praying mates, and this can apply to any tradition, right? That can be if they're both Christian. That can be if they're both Muslim, if they're both in Ifa, if they're both in voodoo, whatever it is, right? The importance of both of the partners to have faith, both of the partners to be in a position where they can fall back on their beliefs and their traditions in order to get through a problem. That's critical. When you walk into too much of a space where there's not a structure culturally, it leaves the door open for any and everything to happen. And that is very dangerous. This is what you see today. This is what you see today. Where traditionally a couple may have went to a mambo or a wungan. They might have went to a babalawu, And they might have talked to that priest and say, yo, I'm going through these problems with my marriage. What can we do? And that priest is going to, do divination. That priest is going to prescribe a sacrifice. And then from that point on, what's going to take place is the people are going to get what they need in order to continue building forward in their relationship. Ashe. But today it's not like that. Today there'll be a bunch of people that come out and be like, oh, well, that's what it is. Relationships don't work at times. And so she need to be happy and you need to be happy. Well, guess what? 9 times out of 10, when they separate, neither of them is truly happy because they really want to be together. They don't want their family to break. They don't just want to break their marriage and then recreate a new family. Most people don't want to do that unless it's something very severe that's going on, like some type of DV. But other than that, most people would rather find a way to fix their family. And that is what tradition, that is what a praying man, that is what a praying woman helps to facilitate. Even if it's just y'all belief in church and Christ and y'all went to church together and, you sat and you prayed with the pastor for your marriage. That is another level of devotion that you are giving to your relationship. That is another level of effort that you are giving to your relationship because you both want it to work. And so you both are now giving it to God together, no matter how that God looks. Whether that is you guys meditating, whether that is you guys going to Shiva together, whether that is you guys going to Oshun before Baba, it's you going to God. It's you going to God with your spouse. The importance of a praying man, the importance of a praying woman. When you are a praying woman, you are able to nurture your family on another level. You're able to help to guide your kids on another stratosphere. You're able to nourish their bodies in certain ways with the food that you provide. Their spirit with the love that you give. Ashil. With the men, when you are a spiritual guardian for your family, you can see when there's problems occurring. You can see when your wife is not doing well. You can see when one of your children are struggling with something, and then you can step in as a man and find a solution for that because you are the spiritual warrior for your family. And this is the power of tradition. This is the power of, a praying man, a praying woman, and coming together. This is so missing today. It's not here. It's gone. For the most part in the West. And then we wonder why so many of our marriages fail compared to other parts of the world. Other parts of the world still have their faith intact. America, the West, we really don't. It's anything go. And when you have an anything go situation, that's just what it will be. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Within traditions, there's certain values that you follow together as a unit. If 2 people were in a Orisha tradition together, there are certain values that they're going to follow. There's no way around it. There's certain things that are going to be true for both of them, right? Within all of these, it's that's what it is. There's going to be certain things that you guys adhere to together, and in your eyes, these will be things that are sanctioned by God. Very important. Family, keep liking the video as you coming in. So very important, These are things that according to your eyes are sanctioned by God. That is very different than just being in the world with no guidance. You understand? When you are in these type of traditions, you always have people to go to. Priests, babalawus, pastors, imams, right? You have the rabbis, you have these people that you can go to as a family and fix it under the guidance of God. That is the importance of a praying man and a praying woman. The family that prays together stays together. Ashe. That bond becomes unbreakable. Because now in the African traditions, it gets merged in blood. You know what I'm saying? So on this side, when you decide to make that commitment with one of us and we go before spirit together, it gets merged in blood. It's sacrifice that got made. Splatter it on the altar. We together. You know what I'm saying? Splatter that blood on the altar. We together. Before Eshu, before Shango, before Yemoja, splatter the blood on the altar. We here. You feel me? Like, ain't no breaking up, man. Like, we here. Blood in and blood out. What you mean? Like, that's the power of tradition. You know what I'm saying? You know, we done merged this in the cemetery together. You're like, where you going where? I'm going where? We done went before the cemetery and merged it. We like this. It's not going nowhere. That's why I be telling y'all, when y'all be saying, I want a spiritual man, I want a spiritual woman, be careful. Be careful, because the real that come with that, you might not be ready for that type of commitment. You might not be ready for that type of... I'll tell you like this. Any women dealing with me, we merchant that in front of spirit. Women that deal with me, we merchant that in front of spirit. We going before God. And it's going to be blood splattered on that altar. Don't play with it. You know what I'm saying? In the past, it's been, merchant it in cemeteries and stuff like that. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because like y'all shouldn't even be dating just to be fucking randomly anyway. Y'all should be dating with marriage in mind in the first place. So it shouldn't be no problem if you feel like, yeah, I could be with this person for so long, then you should be ready to marry. You know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't be afraid to bring that before God and, put that together like that. Now my cat is going off in the background. Yeah, if y'all can hear it, my cat going off. She like, you preaching out there. You feel me? But that's real. Don't come wasting my time. Don't come playing games with me. If you said that you want to be with me, I'm the man for you, and all of this, that, and the third, then everything that come with that, we should be able to make that work. We should be able to go before Yemoja, or we should be able to go before Ifa, and we should be able to put it in front of God. That's it. That's it. And if you break that, then you can suffer the consequences that spirit is going to bring you for breaking that. And if I break it, then I can suffer the consequences that spirit is going to bring to me. Okay, but we made that pact and we rocking. You know what I'm saying? We rocking. Y'all got to understand, Oshun is my mother. She rules my feet. I ain't trying to hear that disloyalty shit at all. I know I don't be wanting to hear it. Yeah, I'm having a great day. Of course. Peace. Thank you. I'm having a great day. But yeah, it's all the plan of the powers that be to break us apart in that way. You know what I'm saying? It is, because there's no loyalty in the game no more. You know what I'm saying? It's no loyalty in the game for real. Like, people just be dating for this month. And they literally be having that in mind. Like, they just use this person for that. They use this person for that. They use that person for that. And when they dried up with it, then they move on. I'm saying that's not right, though. You can't live in that way and expect to have longevity. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that and then expect to have some type of longevity. That is wild. You know what I'm saying? That is wild. Like, but this is the mentality, that people are being programmed into. But me, I'm more an ancient soul, and how I think about things. I like to think about things from the perspective of the ancients. I don't like to take on too many modern ways of looking at things, because it's poisonous. You know what I'm saying? I like to look at the ancient ways of how they went about it, what worked for them, how they were able to have so much with what we consider so little, but they had everything. How were those people able to do that? That is how I like to look at things. You know, that is how I like to look at it. So with me, I'm always going to refer to ancestors. I'm always going to refer to how my ancestors did things and what worked for them. You know, even when you look at slavery, we had the most families right out of slavery because we were still a praying people. We still had God involved in our relationship. Ah, shit. Whether that was mixed in with hoodoo in the church or whatever it was, we had it. Nowadays, our families are in shambles. How can you have the most out of bondage? Because y'all was blood in and blood out. It was tied. Ain't no breaking up. Ain't no break up. Like, what you mean? Like, break what? We together. Our souls is tied while we here on earth. And likely they're going to be like that when we leave the earth. Till death do us part. See, people take these words and they don't really mean it. You understand? They just talking shit. Love, when somebody say they love you, it doesn't mean the same no more. You know? It's laughable by ancient standards. Y'all ain't in love nothing. Y'all don't love anything but yourself. You know what I'm saying? Good morning to you as well. Well, where I'm at is almost afternoon. So yeah, you know, a lot of people today, they only love their self. And they put their self first and foremost above everything. They love their self. They don't love you. They love their self. They love how you make them look. They love how you make them feel. They don't love you. Alafia me. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. All they care about is their own self. They don't care about nothing else. They don't care about you. Because if they did, y'all would find a way to work it out. Under God, whatever that looks like to you. But you know, these people going to be mad that I say this stuff. Is people going to disagree with me. People going to feel some type of way. People going to feel some type of way about what I'm saying, but because they still want to just live free and fuck on this one and that one. They want to do that. Okay. What can I say? You know what I'm saying? Like, people going to be mad at that because they still want to do their thing. They don't want to date with the intention to marry. They don't want to date to marry. They want to date to have babies out of wedlock and then point the fingers at each other. That's what they want to do. They want to date to catch STDs and then be like, I don't know where that came from. That's what people want to do today. So I don't have shit to do with that, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Don't get mad at the messenger. Because that's why Eshu rules my head. I'm just the messenger. I'm just telling you guys stuff. You don't have to take it as the truth or not. It doesn't matter. That's just my opinion. My opinion is in the West today, people just want to fuck to make babies that they don't want to take care of. And people want to fuck to make STDs that they don't want to take accountability for. And that's just what it is. Like, have at it. You know what I'm saying? Have at it. You know what I'm saying? Have at it. But yeah, y'all, the importance of a praying man and a praying woman. Everybody on TikTok, y'all make sure that y'all follow my YouTube. It's in my description and right in my display. It's the little YouTube icon. Click it and subscribe. Because on YouTube, I give longer content. I can only do so much on TikTok. And then they be editing people on here. So it's like, you can only say but so much. You know what I'm saying? When I keep it all the way real is on my YouTube. Straight like that. Straight like, and if you ever miss a TikTok live, I put it on YouTube. So yeah, so that's what it is.